Let's be honest, Praxis selected response questions can feel like a trap. The answers all look the same. You second guess yourself, and sometimes it feels like the test is trying to trick you. But here's the secret. These questions aren't random at all. They're built with patterns, and once you know how to spot those patterns, you can crack them wide open. Hi, I'm Sandra Weiser Matthews. I have a doctoral degree in education. Welcome to Pass Your Praxis channel. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to break down selected response questions, eliminate wrong answers, make smart guesses when you're stuck, and manage your time so you don't get overwhelmed. By the end, you won't just be answering questions. You'll be outsmarting the test. When you hear the term selected response, think multiple choice. You'll be given a question, sometimes just a sentence, sometimes a whole paragraph, and usually 4 answer options. On the surface, it seems simple. Pick the right answer. But the praxis isn't just about facts, it's about choosing the best option for teaching. For example, if a question asks you to improve 3rd graders' reading comprehension, options like memorizing vocabulary or reading aloud might help. But teaching students to make predictions is best because it gets them actively thinking about meaning. Often, more than one answer looks good, so your job is to pick the one that best fits effective teaching. One of the most important skills you can develop is learning to read the stem of the question very carefully. The stem is the actual part that asks the question. A lot of people rush past it and dive straight into the answer choices, and that's where mistakes happen. You can easily get distracted by an option that sounds good but doesn't actually answer the specific question being asked. A good habit is to pause after reading the stem and think, what exactly are they asking me? For example, imagine you read, which of the following strategies would best support a student who's struggling with phonics skills? If you stop and think about those key words, support, struggling, and phonics, you already know you're looking for something that connects letters to sounds. Now, when you see the answer choices, you're less likely to get thrown off by something that looks related to reading but doesn't actually target phonics. If you don't take that pause, you might choose something like providing extra silent reading time, which technically relates to reading but doesn't solve the phonics problem. Try predicting what the answer might look like before you even uncover the options. It's kind of like setting a GPS before you drive. Once you know the direction, you're less likely to get lost. Even if you don't know the answer right away, you can usually get closer by crossing out what's wrong. Praxis questions almost always include 1 or 2 answers that are there to distract you, but if you stop and think about them, they don't really fit. Imagine a middle school teacher wants to encourage higher order thinking, and you see options like memorizing key terms, analyzing a primary source document, giving a true or false quiz, or copying notes. Even if you don't know exactly what higher order thinking means, you can still see that memorizing, true or false quizzes, and copying notes are all pretty basic. Analyzing a primary source is clearly deeper thinking, so that's the best option. You don't have to know every definition by heart if you train yourself to look for the answer that requires more critical thought, more application, and more engagement from students. That's the magic of elimination. Even when you're unsure, you can usually throw out at least 1 or 2 answers and give yourself a much better shot at landing on the correct one. Another thing to watch out for is absolute language. The praxis likes to include answer choices that say things like always, never, all, or none. These are almost always traps, because real classrooms are rarely so black and white. If you come across a statement that says the most effective way to manage classroom behavior is to always enforce strict discipline with no exceptions, that's a big red flag. In reality, good classroom management involves consistency, but it also involves flexibility, support, and sometimes exceptions. The moment you see an extreme word like always or never, pause and double check whether it really makes sense in the teaching world. Most of the time, the better answer will be the one that acknowledges balance and nuance. Context clues can be lifesavers. The Praxis often gives you hints right in the wording of the question, even if you don't know the exact definition of the term being used. Take phonemic awareness as an example. If you get a question that says a kindergarten teacher is working on phonemic awareness, which of the following would be the most appropriate, and you're not totally sure what phonemic awareness means, you can still work it out. The root phenome relates to sounds. That means you're looking for something connected to hearing or manipulating sounds and words. When you see answer choices like practicing rhyming games, copying the alphabet, memorizing spelling lists, or reading chapter books, the sound-based activity, rhyming games, jumps out as the best fit. You didn't even need the formal definition to solve it. The word itself gave you the clue. Sometimes, no matter how much you study, you're going to hit a question where you just don't know the answer. That's okay. The key is remembering that the Praxis doesn't penalize you for wrong answers. Leaving a question blank guarantees you get nothing, but making a guess gives you a chance. The best guess isn't random, it's educated. Use all the strategies we've talked about, eliminating anything that's clearly wrong, pay attention to whether the answer reflects modern best teaching practices, and think about which choice is more student-centered. For example, imagine a student frequently calls out in class without raising their hand. If your options are sending the student to the principal, ignoring it, reminding the student of expectations, or taking away recess for a week, the supportive, proactive answer is reminding the student of expectations and giving them a chance to practice. Even if you weren't sure of the theory, you'd know that sending them straight to the office or punishing them for a whole week is extreme, and ignoring it isn't effective either. That's how you guess wisely. Beyond the questions themselves, pacing is crucial. The Praxis exam is timed, and one of the most common mistakes is spending too much time on a single tricky question. If you have 120 questions and 2 hours, that's about a minute per question. If you notice you're still stuck after 2 or 3 minutes, it's time to move forward. That way you won't run out of time before answering the ones you do know. Remember, each question is worth the same number of points, whether it's super easy or extremely difficult. That means your goal is to get as many correct as possible, not to spend forever solving one. Here's a mindset that helps. If you feel stuck, take your best educated guess, mark the question if the software allows, and move on. You can come back later if you have time. And you'll be surprised. Sometimes when you revisit a question later, it suddenly makes more sense because your brain has been processing it in the background. The real key to mastering selected response questions is practice, but not just taking practice tests. You need to review your mistakes and figure out why you got them wrong. For example, if you confuse formative with summative assessment, reflecting on the difference will lock it in next time. Over time, you'll start spotting patterns like answers that favor student-centered, flexible strategies. Once you recognize those trends, it gets much easier to pick the best choice, even when all the options look good. Here's the bottom line. Praxis selected response questions aren't trying to trick you. They test how well you think through teaching scenarios. Read carefully, predict the answer, eliminate distractors, watch for extreme wording, use the clues, and make smart guesses. Pair that with good time management and focused practice, and you'll head into test day much more confident. Remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being strategic. You don't need to know every fact, but you do need to know how to think like the test writers. And you can do that. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's the hardest part of the selected response questions for you? Thanks for watching. Good luck on your Praxis journey. You can do this.